Buckle up, book lovers.
Because this episode is going places, literally.
Whether you're cruising down the coast or road tripping to a cabin in the woods, we've got the perfect books and audiobooks to keep you company.
That's right. From laugh out loud memoirs to edge of your seat thrillers, we're packing your literary suitcase with titles you won't want to hit pause on.
Plus, we'll play a little game of Would You Rather Listen To with some wildly different audiobook matchups.
It's a bookish pit stop you won't want to miss. This is Library-ish, the podcast that always recommends snacks and stories for the road.
Vroom,
Reading and traveling.
vroom.
I think it's so great to sort of slow down
Mhm.
and take that opportunity to read.
Oh my gosh, I love summertime reading because I'm trying to get my MLIS right now, which you know.
Yes,
I want to be a
yes. So
big
proud.
librarian.
Yay!
And usually during the academic school year, through fall and spring and winter, I've got classes and I've got to read all the stuff for academics. And those of us that went to school, which is almost all of us, it's hard to balance reading for enjoyment and fun and reading because someone told me to in order to pass this class.
Yes.
And so when summertime comes around, I have so much fun because I get to pick the book. And it's just so
You get to read
delightful,
whatever
right?
you want.
Whatever I want, and it's a lot of fun, and I really enjoy it. And that's why I like participating in our summer reading program because adults can do that. And not a lot of people know that. You guys can participate in this, and you get to choose what you read, for funsies.
Absolutely.
But,
Yeah, there's a whole structure to adults being able to participate in our summer reading program, and there are prizes available. Check with your local branch, and we're happy to fill you in and get you signed up. There is still time. Goes on through the end of July.
Yep.
So make sure you get on board.
still time.
There's still time.
But I
Wait a
love
second.
summer reading. I love it so much.
Moving my microphone. Okay, go ahead.
But I especially love audiobooks because I commute. For most days, now that Metro H has passed and all the libraries have full hours and everything, I'm usually up here in Paradise. But occasionally I will commute down to Chico. And, we have the rare commute where my girls and I are going to go to Fort Bragg for our summer vacation. And it's a long drive away. And, when they're sleeping in the back, that's, you plan it right and you can leave when the kids are asleep. And I'll put on an audiobook and I can get it from Libby. And it makes it just so very easy to listen to that
it
while
does
I drive.
make the travel time go a lot faster. Yeah, I've taken a lot of trips where I haven't necessarily been driving. I mean, I used to commute a lot. I still commute a lot for this job because I work at all the different branches, even though I'm mainly at Durham and Paradise. I work all over the county. So there is a lot of commuting that goes on, and I do like an audiobook for that. But when I've traveled in the past and taken long train rides, and it's so great because you can enjoy that audiobook and still enjoy the scenery. It was a great way. I did that when I went across Europe, and I spent a month in Europe backpacking by myself.
Oh my
It was
gosh.
great.
I'm
And
jealous.
I had audiobooks, but I also had physical books with me. In fact, I think like half my backpack was books. And then I had to, because I was there so long, I had to buy more books while I was there, which is great because when you buy books when you're on a trip like that, and then you see them on your bookshelf,
You have
you're
that
like,
memory.
oh, I read that when I was in XYZ, and it's so nice to have that memory. But audiobooks are definitely great. I also thinking in Durham, there are some people, they're going on a cruise, and they were picking up some small books, like pocketbooks from our book sales, our Friends of the Library groups, all of the branches.
Best
have
prices
Friends
you're
of the
going to find
Library
in town.
groups.
Best
Yeah,
prices.
incredible. And new books, older books, classics, anything you could possibly imagine, fiction, nonfiction. And she was picking up a bunch of paperbacks because they take the cruise. And when they finish the book, they leave the book wherever they finish it for other people to find.
That's delightful. It's like a little Easter egg. That's great.
So other people can pick the books up. So physical books are great when you travel too. They're just, you have to make accommodation for them.
Yeah, they're big.
Audiobooks are a little easier to do, unless you have something like a Kindle or that where you can load a bunch on.
Yeah, see, I've got a Kindle, and I mainly because I'm fun, because the campfire came through and burned up all my physical books. So I
Yes.
make sure that I have my Kindle with me because it carries on my little library. I do have physical books now, but I know in the back of my head
Right.
that they're not as permanent, as one of the
Right.
digital, oddly enough, as the digital books, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Ironically enough.
It's a case by case basis
That's
with
true.
that.
That's
With
true.
digital and analog, it's archiving. It's a case by case basis.
Das ist true. Yeah.
But
But
so there are a lot of. Let's start with physical books because
Okay.
we can move to the audiobooks later.
Okay.
But one of the great things that you can do, because when you're traveling, there's a lot of starting and stopping and moving and things like that. Taking short story collections can be a really great way.
That's such a good idea.
And you could do that with fiction or nonfiction. There are quite a few nonfiction books that just have intermittent stories or portions of things, even memoirs, that you can just sort of take and find yourself at an end point before you actually put them down and have to go and do the other things you have to do. So it's definitely something to think about.
Yeah, very much. I didn't even consider short stories because I like I like full length books, as I think a lot of us do. But when you take a short story or an anthology or something like that, and a lot of really popular authors will get together and they'll create modern ones like this. I think Stephen King has done it a couple of times. I know there's a couple of ones with Agatha Christie has done it. There's a lot of they'll get together and they'll.
I talked about the
stories.
George R.R. Martin, the Wild Card series, where that's not quite an anthology book because it's all written around the same core story. It's just from different characters' points of view, written by different authors. But in the end, that's what it is an anthology.
Right.
If you pick the same author, the chapters are distributed throughout the book. So if you wanted to read one character's through line, you could conceivably do that, but it's written more like an anthology collection, and that it's so much fun to do that.
I didn't even my mind is just blown. I didn't even consider doing that.
Another thing that's great to do is read actually travel themed novels.
Ooh, those are fun.
Yeah, those are a lot of fun. I can't think of any off the top of my head.
You don't know, can I? But they are fun. I like when it's summertime. I'm weird. I like to pair the modes of my books with the time of year it is.
Oh,
so like
that's fun.
summertime, I'll look for actual summer reads that happen in summer, where the character's going on vacation, where the summertime like in the book as well as summertime with me.
No, that's so fantastic to do that.
It's a lot of fun doing that. And I'll do the same thing around fall and winter and stuff like that. I like the books that are like the seasonal, tis the season that it is, and tis the season that I'm reading. So it's that connection.
That's actually a very popular way to read. Debbie McComber and Fern Michaels both write a lot of holiday books, which is kind of there's also the opposite. A lot of people like to read Christmas books in the summer.
And that's fun. Our friends at the library.
A lot of people love to do that. We check out, you would be so stunned at how many Christmas books we check out in July.
Right. It's Christmas in July. I'm getting all excited. Christmas in July. It's an actual thing. No, we have the Masonic the lodge next door. They're going to do a big old craft fair that's Christmas in July. The Friends of the Library over in Chico, every summer they'll do a Christmas in July book sale where they have all their Christmas cookbooks. They have all these Christmas things that you can do, and it's in July. It's an actual thing I think it's gaining steam, amongst everybody.
There's also, I'm seeing a lot of Halloween in July, but it's like we also literally are expected to shop for Halloween in July, so it's a little less fun.
I love Halloween. I love shopping for Halloween. The moment July is over, I'm like, we could get Halloween things now. We could set up for Halloween.
Yeah.
And we're doing Teentober this year for Halloween.
It's going to be so lit. I'm just telling you, it's going to be so much fun. Hopefully.
And it'll be a lot of fun. But yeah, the moment August gets here, I'm like, yes, Halloween, fun stuff. It's going to be so much fun. So when I pick a book, like when it's summertime, I like to pick a summertime book to pair with the environment that I'm currently feeling.
I love that. Do you have any favorites you'd like to read?
Beach read. I love beach read. No, not beach reads. Beach
Oh,
Read.
the book Beach Read.
With Emily
Yes,
Henry.
yes,
That
yes,
was delightful. I loved Susan Mallory, Summer Book Club, which was a lot of fun. I'm a romance reader. I love to read romance. It's so much fun to do that. Those are the two ones off the top of my head. There's a lot of other fun stuff too, but yeah, there's a lot out there.
And another thing you can do, read mysteries. Like this is a great time for sort of the cozy mystery. I do love to read Agatha Christie in the summer.
Oh my goodness, yeah.
I just because Agatha Christie mysteries are so smart. There's just something about the way she writes and the way she structures the story that makes it so much fun to read.
That's great.
Yeah, she's great.
You know, I which one was it? It was Arsenic and Adobo, which I absolutely loved. It's a cozy mystery series that's it's the main character is Filipina, and the recipes in there are Filipino recipes.
Yeah.
And I thought it was so much fun. And then at the end, I actually tried one of the ube cookies that I make every once in a while.
Yes,
That's where I got that recipe, is from that book. And I tried it and I made it for all the library employees one time. I'm like, behold my ube cookies. And they were really good. And I'm like, this is great. See, there was a dead body and now you all have cookies.
All right, let's talk about audiobooks, because really, when you're traveling, it's the most convenient form. You've got your phone with you. You probably have headphones, you know, or if you're in your car, you have your media player, whatever you use.
Audiobooks are really good too, because Libby in particular, my daughter, who is I love her. She's 13 now. She's my teenager. Anyway, when she was in 4th grade, we were really struggling with her reading disability, because she's dyslexic and she's got an auditory delay and all this fun stuff. Anyway, she was reading. She and the rest of the class had to read The Isle of Blue Dolphins. And she was struggling to keep up. And so what I did is I went to Libby and I checked out the audiobook. And we put on the audiobook at the same chapter that she was supposed to be reading with the other kids in the class. And she would let the audiobook read for her while she read with it.
That's fantastic.
And it made homework so much easier.
No, that's why it's so great that they're available.
Right.
I mean, that's definitely that's the utilitarian thing that makes them so worthwhile to have. They're so helpful. And, you know, when you're traveling, sometimes you want to read a book beginning to end, and sometimes you want to physically have the book with you, or maybe you have a digital copy of it in a Kindle. But there may be times where you want to listen to it on the audiobook too. So that's fun too, to be like, read a couple chapters in the hard copy, and then dovetail that with the audio version, and then pick up with the hard copy where you left off.
I have to do that sometimes in order to finish the book, because how often do you get to sit down and read? And we've talked about this before, where, like I said, I've got 3 kids. I might have mentioned that. And once or twice. And I'll be at home and I'll get nice and cozy and I'll get my book out and I'm ready to read. And then it's, Mom, you know, and then it's just like, oh my God, leave me alone for 2 seconds. And sometimes I can't get back there, you know, so I'll read when I can. And then when I'm commuting, I'll put the audiobook on, and the audiobook will fill me in on what's next. And then I'll, fast forward and I'll read from there. I do prefer to read. I do prefer to sit and read a book, with my eyeballs.
Yeah.
But
most people do. Like the advent of ebooks actually drove sales for physical books. It increased sales tremendously.
Oh, that print
there was all that fear for a while that they would replace physical books, and it's not even a competition. It's not even close. There's supplemental and sometimes replacement, but there's no real replacement for a physical book.
No, I prefer to have the pages. I prefer to smell it and to flip the pages. It's an experience that comforts me and relaxes me. And even when the character is being ridiculously stupid and I'm yelling at it, it's still a relaxing experience to hold the book,
Yeah.
But, when you're busy, which a lot of us are, sometimes you have to do things like put the audiobook on when you're driving, carry with you the digital version in your bag, and then get home. And when you get comfortable, you can pull out that print version.
Especially if you're traveling for a long period of time, where you need that digital delivery system, you need that digital reader, because you can't take that many physical books with you. It would be ridiculous.
You can try.
Yeah, I mean, I went to Europe before there were e-readers. That is my excuse. I had to take physical books because there was no other way. But
I'm just picturing you walking to the airport being held
oh,
back
me
by
with
your
my
backpack.
giant backpack. But having an e-reader is great because you really and I also will read for so long and then sometimes be like, I want to read something different right now. I don't feel like that book. I want to read the other book. Won't necessarily read to completion. So having the Kindle or whatever is like, all right, I'm going to go read this other thing right now because that's what I feel like.
Yeah.
So
I do the
same
thing. I have about 3 to 5 books out that I'm currently reading, you know. On Goodreads, it has that thing where you can click the book as currently reading, want to read, read, and all that stuff.
Right.
And I'll have like 3 to 5 books where it's like 35%. 10%,
yes,
50%, you know, the whole way down. Because I'll read and I'll be like, and I'm ready for something else for a while.
Yeah.
And I'm ready for something else, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
And I might finish one of them and I might not. And it's,
yeah, that's how it works. That's how it works. I mean, and so in terms of delivery systems, we've got Libby,
yes,
which is very easy to do, just takes a library account.
And Palace.
And Palace. That's another one. Difference between Libby and Palace is with Libby, you get access to our digital collection. It includes ebooks and audiobooks. They're downloadable onto virtually any device you might have. Doesn't matter what platform, if it's Android, Mac, PC, you can go ahead and download it. It works all the same.
And it connects to your Kindle.
And it connects to your Kindle. You can download Kindle versions of those books.
And then it'll just download right onto your Kindle and you read it like a regular book.
And you go, you're on your merry way. Palace is a little different in that it aggregates all the books that are at any California library that is participating in the Palace project, which is funded by the California State Library. So if you're a participant like we are, our books are also available through Palace. However, you can also get books from any other participating library. So there are audiobooks that may not be in our collection. There are also ebooks that may not be in our collection. You would have to download the Palace app, browse the app, because those books aren't, the books that aren't in our collection are not in our catalog for you to see whether they're available or not. You would have to actually use the app, but then you find the book in the app and you download it. And it makes getting copies of bestsellers much easier because, you know, basically when you order an ebook, one ebook copy for one reader. So
just like regular books.
Yeah, just like a regular physical book. So when you go into Palace, you're getting our one book, Sonoma County's one book, Tehama County's one book, whomever is participating, that's that many books you have access to. So your odds of getting a current bestseller are much higher with Palace than they are with Libby.
Shorter wait times.
Yeah, much shorter wait times.
Yeah, that's one of the criticisms I hear about Libby a lot is I put this book on hold and they say that I've got a month or 2 to wait. I don't understand. Don't you guys, I mean, how does this work?
Yeah, it's an ebook. Shouldn't it be shareable to everybody?
Yeah, that's the assumption, you know, it's digital. Shouldn't it be just open to everybody? And I said, well, that's not quite how it works. You know, if it worked that way, the poor publishers wouldn't make any money. You know, so we buy one and then we have one to loan out. And that's just kind of how it runs.
Exactly.
I wish it could be otherwise. Believe you me, there's tons of books that I'm waiting and I'm like months down the list and I'm like, but I want it now.
Yeah, the Frida McFadden, there would be millions of people reading Frida McFadden.
She's so popular right now.
She's got a new one coming out.
She's like the new Colleen Hoover. Colleen Hoover for the longest time. We could not keep her in. And now she's kind of been tossed to the wayside since the movie came out. And now it's Frida McFadden.
And all the shenanigans.
The drama.
The drama.
You know, I just, but yeah, now we just can't keep Frida McFadden in. It's so funny.
Yep. And Do Not Disturb is our next title, and we have it on order. It'll be here. Yeah. It'll be here soon. Yeah.
Would you rather listen to? Do you want to try that?
I would. Yeah, that's where I was thinking we would go. Let's talk about Would You Rather, because and in a bit of a speed round because we've got about 20 minutes before I have to order a pizza for the program we're having tonight.
Oh, the movie, the Jurassic Park.
That's right. We're showing a movie this evening. We're showing movies during evening hours at a lot of our branches, at all of our branches.
The program for adults.
Yes, it is for grown folks. it's a Steven Spielberg's film spectacular.
This one has dinosaurs.
Yeah, I mean, the 1980s, 70s, 80s, and 90s PG is a little different than today's.
Yeah, there's more blood.
There's more of everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, we do recommend that young kids come with parents or guardians.
Yeah.
But
it's not our fault if they get scared. You've been warned.
Yeah, if they get scared or see something. But yeah, so we're doing those movies through the end of the month, which has been very exciting and very successful. We're having a great time with that.
Yeah.
So it's almost pizza time.
So would you rather?
Yes.
Yeah. Would you rather listen on audiobook?
Yes.
To a nonfiction self-help or a cozy fiction mystery?
Oh, nonfiction self-help. For me.
Really?
I've done that. That's actually, it's weird because there are so many nonfiction books I really prefer to read hard copy, but self-help books, which I also love to indulge in a little bit of self-help nonfiction, I really like it via audiobook.
Great.
It's more like a conversation in a way.
I agree.
Being
100%.
told what this person thinks and how, what these particular things are, that whatever their ideology is. I really like to hear that. Sometimes reading that stuff, part of the problem is a lot of self-help will have these. Let me talk about my client, Bob. Bob was but. And when they give the examples, I'm like, page. I just want the meat and potatoes of what your philosophy is or whatever it is. I don't want to hear about Bob. I don't care about these like theoretical.
Bob can kick rocks.
Yeah, Bob can kick rocks. Okay, I'm going to throw one at you now. Okay. Creepy versus cozy.
Oh, I hate creepy. I hate it so much. I hate it because I know people, they like creepy books because you're in a safe environment, which makes it fun to be creeped out and scared because you know deep down that you're safe. I can't breathe through that.
Do you know you're safe?
Exactly. I read, it was Unmasked, and it's by one of the CSI detectives that caught the Golden State Killer.
Ooh,
I read
true
that.
crime is
True
so
crime.
good.
And it freaked me out for an entire week after that. I checked every window. I checked every door. I would get up multiple times in the night to make sure my kids were okay. It freaked me out. I can't do that. So cozy. 100% cozy. And you know what? I absolutely love the new trend of cozy that's out there. Cozy fantasies. Have you seen those?
No.
Oh, it's adorable. There's this new trend where you've got a cozy fantasy and it's either a mystery or it's a love story. No matter what, it's in this fantasy realm and it's just so great.
I'm so confused.
It's so delightful.
Oh.
I can see all the covers because they're all those cartoony covers.
Yeah.
I can't think of one gosh darn title right now. But I can see the covers in my brain and we've got a bunch of them on Libby, but they're cozy fantasies and it's relatively new as a subgenre and I love it.
No, see, I love creepy. I love creepy. In fact, mentioning Shirley Jackson, Haunting of Hill House, so good. Richard Matheson, I brought up before, so good. Clive Barker's Books of Blood, so good.
I can't do it.
Like, there's something about reading a creepy book. I mean, I like the whole you're safe, you're not safe. Yeah, I guess you feel kind of safe. I'm never worried about. I just love the stories and the storytellers that write creepy books. Not all of them. I happen to not be a very big fan of Stephen King. But when you get a good creepy book, one you're enjoying, whether it's Stephen King or whatever, there is just something so fun about that. Yeah. And it is kind of vacation coded because it's like roller coaster coded. You know what I mean?
I feel that. I do.
It's very much like, and I love adventure stories, but like the creepy specifically. And I can do actually audiobook with those or like listening to the whole H.P. Lovecraft collection on audiobook. So
no, audiobooks, you have to admit, the narrator will kill it.
Oh, 100%.
The narrator either makes the story or kills the story.
100%. 100%. I remember trying to when I was in college and had to do a report on the Wizard of Oz. So while I was working at the college library there, the geology library at UCLA, go Bruins, I was reading the Wizard of Oz, and it was a free version that I had gotten online, the audiobook, while I was working at the library. I was not a fan. It was not great.
Oh, no.
And how many times I would have to be like, I need to rewind that part because I absolutely did not listen to a word this person said. So I'm just going to go back and see if I can like get the gist of what's being said, because I am tuning them out 100%.
Yeah, it's just they make or break it 100%. And I remember I was listening with my kids. It was a Harry Potter one. I forget which one. And it was a male narrator. And every time he would do Hermione's voice, Harry, where are you going to? And it just made all of us laugh. Your face. The look.
Well, I'm not big on the whole switching voices.
Right. In kids' books, you kind of have to.
Yeah, I guess. I'm like the whole I'm character acting while I'm doing. I'm like, can you just read the book?
just read the book.
Can you just or let's do a theatrical production of the book, like you've talked about
graphic audio.
The graphic audios, which what another great option to have when you travel, to have that little theatrical production happening in your head so you can watch the movie that's in your brain. Fantastic. But just some person being like, but then I said, but no, you didn't. But yes, I did. But oh no.
This is why you do adult programming and I do children's programming.
Yeah, no. I mean, even audiobooks, I remember when I was very small, one of my favorite things to do before I went to bed was I would either listen to a comedy album, because I loved stand-up comedy. So, Bill Cosby or whatever, would put that on, or an audiobook, and it would be like there was Aladdin and I had a few others. And they weren't even character. It was literally, you had a golden book with the audio, and they would read the golden book aloud, and I would listen to that as I went to sleep. If they had been, I am Aladdin, I am the princess, like there's no way I would have been like,
yeet.
Yeah, completely no. Pass.
Oh my.
You want to do the next one?
Sure. Okay, so would you prefer literary or laugh out loud?
That's a hard one.
Yeah.
That's a hard one, because what's the laugh out loud?
Okay, me personally, one of my favorite audiobooks, and I prefer this as an audiobook, is Amber Ruffin. She did a book that she wrote about her sister Lacey working in, I want to say Omaha. I think it was Omaha, Nebraska, where in this little town that they're in, there's very few people of African American descent. And she deals with racism, ridiculous racism, on a daily basis. And this whole book it's called "You Will Never Believe What Happened to Lacey." And this whole book is the two of them discussing these awful stories that are so terrible they're funny.
Yeah, they cross completely over into the absurd.
It did a little jig over the line and did a few backflips on the other side, but the way they do this fun audiobook is it sounds almost like a podcast, to where you feel like you're in it with them.
Yeah.
Like you feel we're all sitting and we're having some coffee and we're talking
about
I
love.
Right, this crazy thing that happened to Lacey,
That's amazing.
It's fun.
Really
So I prefer laugh out loud.
Yeah.
Things that will make me laugh out loud.
Yeah. See, and I'm not a big humor reader, especially if it's nonfiction humor, or literary humor, like David Sedaris and things like that. I'm not. I just don't like my humor delivered that way.
Right.
Although I used to read Irma Bombeck way back in the day and things like that, but I'm just not a big fan of it. Although I have to say, if someone's writing a memoir and they have a great sense of humor, one of my favorite memoirs was written by a comic named Spike Milligan, who's British. and he served during World War II. I know. And I'm so unpredictable. And he wrote about his experience in World War II, like his childhood and up to the end of the war. And he's such an incredible writer that while there are funny bits in there, it's really a literary experience. It's not a humor book experience.
That's fair.
That's why I'm like, what are we talking about? Because I feel like sometimes there is where there's crossover, where what you're reading is really good literature,
right,
but it happens to be funny, then that's great. Like, I love reading Douglas Adams and Terry Pratchett, and they're funny, but they're literary also. So I'm like, for me,
it's a blend.
Well, and what's the divide? Where did those things diverge? And then I'm probably not where they diverge. I like where they converge, not where they diverge.
Where do they diverge? And you won't find me there. Yes. I'm over here.
Yeah. Yes.
I see that. That's fair. That's fair.
And that's a wrap on our audiobook odyssey.
If you're still deciding between cozy and creepy for your next trip, just download both. You never know what mood the open road will bring.
Huge thanks to you, our listeners, for coming along for the ride.
And don't forget to check out your local library's audiobook collection on Libby or Hoopla. Both are chef's kiss.
Yes. Wherever your summer takes you, may your gas tank be full, your playlists be strong, and your story hours be unskippable. Safe travels and happy reading. Bye.